The reason you clicked on this video today is because you are not investing in yourself enough. You are not believing in yourself enough, and I'm going to point out the illogical nature that humans are falling into that is pulling them away from purpose more than ever. We live in a day and age where somebody will bet more on a 10-leg parlay of a bunch of men they have never met in their entire lives than to take one chance on themselves. We live in a world where people that are struggling financially are the ones that play the lottery the most, aka betting on external factors, betting on something else besides themselves to change their life. A lot like the lottery, you are pushing off the responsibility to change your own life. You are depending on something outside of yourself to be the thing that changes your circumstances, that changes the way that you think, the way that you operate, and the way that you ultimately live. What if I told you that you can make your entire life a lottery and have control over the odds? Let me explain. Every time that you create something, you create a video, you create a new song, you create a new painting, whatever your passion of creativity is, you are submitting what? A lottery ticket. You are submitting a chance for you to make a significant change in your life based on how that video performs, how that song performs, how that painting performs. But we have become so brainwashed by comparison, by social media, by unrealistic expectations, that we would rather bet hundreds, even thousands of dollars on something like sports betting as opposed to investing that same amount of money into ourselves, into mentorship, into certifications, into skill building. We would rather bet on 40-year-old LeBron dropping 60 than bet on ourselves one singular time. I need you to truly ask yourself, what level of self-care do I have where I would rather bet on something that has virtually no chance of succeeding instead of investing in myself and taking a chance on myself? Which brings us to the topic of risk and risk tolerance. So many times people will say that they won't take the risk of doing mentorship. They won't take the risk of buying a course, of buying a certification, of learning a new skill. But the same person will turn around, go to the casino, and play blackjack thinking that's what's going to make them rich. Well, you need to understand that your risk tolerance is directly tied to your self-belief, to your self-image, and ultimately your identity, and how strong that identity is. And the strength of our identity ultimately comes through constant introspection, constant self-awareness, and constant pursuit of the next challenge. Not getting comfortable, not doing what we're good at forever, but constantly shooting for the next obstacle. This, over time, allows us to build up a resume of evidence proving we are who we say we are. And when we have this evidence backing up we are who we say we are, then we build what? True, authentic confidence. And what does confidence give us? More risk tolerance, and in a more calculated way. And it's not just a surge in your risk tolerance. It will allow you to take calculated risk. It will allow you to take risks on things that will feed your life long term instead of short term. So before the next time you try to bet your entire rent check on if Bam Adebayo is going to score 80 points again, think to yourself, where else can I allocate this extra money to serve my ultimate purpose, to serve my ultimate mission? Well, I know what you're thinking. Most of you are like, Ryan, I don't have a mission. I don't know my purpose. I don't know what I'm meant to do. Well, that's the very first step. And that's why you're willing to take risks and push off, again, the responsibility of making a change in your life, of making more money, of becoming healthier, because you have not established that identity within yourself. You have not established the level of understanding of self to know how to operate in a calculated manner. And the further that you stray away from who you were meant to be, your full potential, what you were called to do on this planet, the more you are led into destruction. You are led into distraction, consuming more than you create, doing drugs, alcohol, chasing around girls, when you could be chasing your ultimate purpose, when you could be chasing something that would actually fulfill you. But right now, you just want quick hits of dopamine. You want to take the quick, exciting chance to potentially come out on top for those quick, short-term dopamine hits. But I want you to ask yourself this question. If those short-term pleasures were supposed to fulfill you, why do you have to keep going back for more? Why do you have to keep striving and craving that same dopamine hit over and over again if it was ever meant to fulfill you? So instead of the parlays, instead of the blackjack table, how about investing in your skills? How about being the one that actually tries something, that realizes that trying is not lame? People will try to make you feel like you're weird for that you're weird for chasing your dream, that you're weird for going against the grain. But if it was easy and if it was meant for everyone, then everybody would do it. But that's why you're here. That's why you even clicked on this video, because you are seeking something more. You know that you always had it inside of you, and you just need help navigating to it. So in my own life, I realized at some point, instead of betting on external things, always waiting for something to come in and save me from my situation, change my situation, I realized that I was the one that should be accountable for it. I was the one that needed to take action and make the changes necessary in order to live a fulfilling life. You are looking at somebody that was once the most lazy person you would ever meet, severely addicted to drugs, and felt like he had zero purpose on this planet. I spent 7+ years in that place. 7+ years putting people on a pedestal, thinking they're more talented, thinking they're more skilled, thinking that people were genuinely better than me, and what they have done, I would never accomplish. Until I realized this: is it more logical for me to take random chance on external factors, on things outside of myself, or does it make more sense to invest in myself and really put it all on my shoulders? So I stand here today as somebody that has invested over $20,000 in mentorship, $20,000 in coaching, $20,000 in skill building material. And because I took this calculated risk on myself, I was able to get a better ROI on my investment. I invested $20K and I probably profited 3x that in results of me investing that. I've been able to turn my pain into purpose because of that. I was able to start a business because of that. See, the problem might not be that you aren't meant for more, that you aren't meant to succeed. Maybe you just need somebody there with you to put structure and intention behind what you're trying to accomplish. Somebody that will allow you to understand how to take calculated risk with a good chance of return. And even if you don't get that return, you're still able to extract how it benefits you. Think about it. If I have the faith within myself, if I have the delusional self-belief to invest $8,000 in a single coaching program that wasn't even a year long, imagine how much I could accomplish with that level of self-belief alone. And imagine how much more it translates to other people how confident I am in my product, how confident I am in my business, when they know that I spent $8,000 that at the time I barely had in order to take a chance on myself, in order to play my own lottery. So now, every video I post is a lottery ticket. Every piece of art that I create is another chance for me to break through and make my dream a reality. And if you're watching this video, especially to this point, it means two things. You don't have the attention span of a fly, and number two, you're striving for the same thing. You're striving for the higher purpose. You're striving for more than the bare minimum. But you're not taking calculated risk, and you're betting on things that are outside of yourself. So you may think that you're just having fun, that you're just doing something on the side to try to make a little bit more money. But what you're really doing is shifting the blame, is shifting the responsibility of you accomplishing what God has called upon your life. And you could keep making those excuses. You could keep betting on everything except for yourself. But at the end of the day, you know, and I know, that the reason that you do that is because you don't believe in yourself enough, and you aren't willing to put yourself outside of your comfort zone. There should be nothing on this planet besides God that you believe in more than yourself, than your mission, than your purpose, than your ability to help people, your ability to become wealthy, your ability to become fulfilled. That should be a pillar of your existence, a pillar of your identity. It's not easy, but it is simple. If you want to learn how to align your identity, your confidence, and your actions to create your dream life and finally take control, DM me on Instagram at this tag right here, the word win. As soon as you send that DM, we will set up a one-on-one meeting where you get to speak to me personally for a full hour, explain all of the problems that you're having, all of the goals that you have, and I will help you bridge the gap between you and your goals. So if you're sick of pushing off the responsibility, if you finally want to take accountability in your life, DM me on Instagram right now and waste no more time becoming who you were meant to be.